Welcome to Ancient Rome Workbook Lesson 6. Going to begin again with the main ideas at the top. Number 1, the Romans looked for ways to use science and engineering to improve their lives. Number 2, Roman architecture and art were largely based on Greek ideas. Number 3, Roman literature and language have influenced how people write and speak. Number 4, Roman law serves as a model for modern law codes around the world. Number 5, Romans made important contribution to philosophy and history. Key terms in people box. Galen was a Greek doctor who lived in the Roman Empire in the AD 100s. Aqueduct is a raised channel used to carry water from mountains into cities. Virgil was an author who wrote a great epic about the founding of Rome, the Aeneid. Ovid is a poet who wrote about Roman mythology. Satire was a style of writing that pokes fun at people or society. Romance languages. The languages that developed from Latin, including Italian, French, Spanish, Portuguese, and Romanian. And then civil law is a legal system based on a written code of laws. So in the first section here under lesson summary, we have Roman science and engineering. So you have two tasks here. The first one is, for what reason did the Romans use engineering and science? And then secondly, you're going to underline the sentence that explains what helped Roman buildings last a long time. Romans used engineering and science for practical purposes so they could improve their lives. They studied stars to produce a calendar. They studied plants to grow better crops. A Greek surgeon living in the empire, Galen, made discoveries about the body. Doctors based their ideas on his work for centuries. The Romans developed materials such as cement to make their structures last. They used arches and aqueducts or channels that carry water from mountains to cities. Builders combined the arch to create a vault, a set of arches that supports a building's roof. They created large open spaces within buildings. Roman buildings were larger than any created before. So again, the first question is, what reason did the Romans use engineering and science? That you can find right in the beginning of the reading. And then the second one is, underline the sentence that explains what helped Roman buildings last a long time. That you're going to find somewhere in that middle to second half. Okay, on the second page, architecture and art. We have two questions for this section again. How did Roman engineering improve on Greek architecture? And what might have happened if the Romans had not been influenced by Greek sculptures? Roman architecture was influenced by early Greek designs. Similar to the Greeks, Romans used columns to make public buildings look stately and impressive. However, Roman engineering allowed them to create much larger buildings. Roman artists used mosaics for decoration on walls or floors. Frescoes also decorated walls. Roman sculptures were either original or copies of older Greek works. Since many original Greek works were destroyed, Roman copies provided the world with knowledge of the Greek masterpieces. So again, two questions. The first one is, how did Roman engineering improve on Greek culture, architecture? That you'll find in this first paragraph. In the second paragraph, what might have happened if the Romans had not been influenced by Greek sculptures? The next section, literature and language. Virgil wrote a great epic, the Aeneid, about the founding of Rome. Ovid wrote poems about Roman mythology. Romans excelled in satire, writing that pokes fun at people or society. Many works served as models for modern works. Roman poets wrote in Latin. Today, languages that developed from Latin are called Romance languages because they share many elements with each other and with Latin. Next section, the beginnings of civil law. And you have one question to answer with this section, and it is, why do you think civil law continues today in most of Europe? Civil law, a legal system based on a written code of laws, was inspired by Roman law, which was enforced throughout the empire. Most European nations today are ruled by civil law. Again, why do you think that the civil law continues today in most of Europe? Your answer is not going to be right there. Philosophy and history. Greek philosophy and the way Greeks wrote about history influenced the Romans. They also studied about their own history. They documented the way the Republic and the Empire changed over time. All right, and then on our last page, this first section here is just a match. You're going to match the term in the first column with the definition in the second column. So I'm going to read the terms first, and then I'll read the definitions. So we have civil law, Galen, satire, Roman languages, Virgil, aqueduct, 7 is vault, 8 is Ovid. So your definitions are a style of writing that pokes fun at people or society. So whichever one of these 8 you think is the correct term, you're going to take the letter A and write it on that line. B, author who wrote a great epic about the founding of Rome. C, Greek doctor who lived in the Roman Empire and made discoveries about the body. D, a set of arches that supports the roof of a building. E, a legal system based on a written code of laws. F, poet who wrote about Roman mythology. G, a raised channel used to carry water from mountains into cities. And H, the languages that developed from Latin. And the last section here, you have 3 vocabulary terms in each row. 2 connect to each other or are related to each other, but 1 is not. 1 is like opposite or just doesn't belong. So in line 9, we have Galen, Virgil, or Ovid. 2 of those are related, 1 is not. And then number 10, vault, aqueduct, and satire. Again, 2 of them are connected or related in some way, and 1 is not. When you are done, please make sure you go into the Google Classroom and put a personal comment for this assignment that you completed it on paper, and make sure you turn it in the Google Classroom. Then make sure your name goes on your paper copy and you turn that in to Miss Gust.